Hey everybody, welcome to another round of Q&A with me. Thankfully and surprisingly, you guys had more questions, so I'm more than happy to try and answer them all today. You got a few good ones for me, so you might just stump me. All right, first question was, how often do you take a week off? And I gotta tell you, for years now, I've taken, my partner Pete and I, we'll train hard 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and then we'll take a week off. Sometimes a week and a half, sometimes 2 weeks. It just depends on how we're feeling, and once the workouts start to become a little too mundane, the energy level starts to drop, it's getting a little harder to get motivated to get through them. Our weights might go down, or we're fighting a heck of a lot harder for the same amount of reps. We start losing sleep. Those are some of the signs that tell us, yeah, we're about at the end of this lifting cycle. It's time for a break. So I'll take some time off. I'll still eat pretty well. I'll still get in my cardio workouts, but we won't lift any weights. We'll take some gym time off. And then, take the time to recharge, recover. Seems to be good for the joints too. And then write up a new program, completely different exercises, completely different set schemes, reps, all that stuff, and get back in there, and we're back on fire. So it's more of a judging your body thing. Some programs, there's been a few times where I think we've burned out in about 3, maybe 4 weeks. But sometimes we've gone longer. Sometimes I think I've written a program that'll last us about 4 weeks, and it ends up going 6 or 7 weeks, or even 8. And then we start to poop out. So listen to your body, take your time with it. But yeah, a week off here and there, not a bad thing at all. You don't lose all your gains. You don't start back at square one. You're not going to get fat, any of that stuff. It's beneficial. I find it is. Second question, working through an injury. Hey, thankfully I have not had many injuries at all. Nothing major, thankfully. A few pulled muscles here and there, strain, sprain. A lot of times I find rest and ice are the initial treatment. That seems to work well. And then it's a matter of, not too long ago I pulled something, tendons or something. And so it was frustrating and it hurt like hell. But I had it checked out by a doctor. As much as I eat well and healthy, times like that, I run to the doctor. I'm not macho, there's none of that stuff. So I want to make sure I'm doing okay, make sure everything's fine. So it was just pulled muscles, there's some strained muscles, ligaments in there. So it was just a matter of taking it easy, finding exercises that didn't bother it at all. And then just finding what I could do. The weights obviously were a lot lighter. Finding what I could do without aggravating the injury, and then kind of helping it heal, giving it extra rest. In the gym, taking a longer warm-up or extra warm-up, some stretches, things like that. And then, little by little, it took its course and worked its way out. So injuries are difficult to deal with, but don't get that whole macho-headed thing where, you're going to just plow through it. Do what's right, get some rest, see a doctor. Don't try and beat it. Just deal with it, heal, so you can be 100% and get back at it. Third question, combining foods. I had a couple nutrition questions this week. Combining foods, what do I know about food combining? Probably not too much. I try and, I know things like, for example, one that I've known for a long time, something like corn and beans mixed together make more of a complete proteins than alone. But other than that, I don't know too many tricks or tips or foods to combine. When I'm prepping food and things like that, I try and make them as complete as possible, but I don't have too many there. Also, what is the one food that is mistakenly healthy but is a big no-no? Inherently, I don't know any foods that are, definitely in or definitely out or good or bad. It's, food is food. And some are better than others, or quality of nutrition might be better than others, but I don't swear off any particular food, or I wouldn't swear off any particular food, but I was just having a discussion with somebody recently, and probably one of the, if there was a mistakenly, oh, it's healthy food, therefore it's okay, kind of thing, and it's not all that healthy. Probably like protein bars, believe it or not. Not that they're inherently bad. Again, a lot of them go through, a lot of companies put a lot of effort into them. They keep their ingredients natural and do the best they can. But in the end, it's still some type of bar. So it's processed, and it certainly doesn't look like the food that went into it. And not that they're bad, and eating them, once a week or for a treat or on the run, and you grab something, I think is fine. But they're not I don't think they would be a great, staple food where you're eating, 2 or 3 of them a day, and some of them are glorified candy bars. So that would be my one off the top of my head that I would come up with. Another question. This is one maybe you guys can help with. My buddies over at Gym Rats, we're looking for body weight exercises for biceps. And they said, if you have no pull-up bar, what would be something you could possibly do to work the biceps? They've come up with a bunch of body weight exercises for every other body part, it sounds like, except biceps. And my initial thought was, well, without a pull-up bar, perhaps going with bands, would help, but I don't know if that constitutes body weight or not. So we'll see. So if you have any tips or ideas for body weight exercise, or you're doing any, send some in, let me know. We'll pass it along to those guys. Last couple questions, or personal questions. Again, my least favorite topic. But I enjoy it. I enjoy sharing all this with you. So my diet and nutrition the last 7 days before a competition, I'm still working on that. And there's obviously lots of methods of doing that. People go low carb, no carb. They're carb loading and sodium loading, depleting, water loading, depleting. I don't really get into too much of that. Pretty much, my plan through the entire prep period stays the same. That final week, I don't change too many things. My water intake is pretty high year-round, not just that week. It's 2.5 gallons a day. So that stays pretty much the same. I might drop it a bit, maybe Thursday, Friday, and then slowly back up on Saturday. But I don't, completely stop drinking water. Same thing with carbs. They might be a little higher at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week, but nothing drastic. I don't, stop eating any carbs or do any complete depletion. Same thing with sodium. It's in my nutrition all along, and it stays there. So I don't really do anything drastic. I don't have any hidden secrets of how I end up where I end up on stage, and it's something I'm still working on. Even for me, it's a process. But the biggest thing I find, at least with my own prep and body, it seems to be consistency. So what I've been doing all along for year-round, and then the 20 some odd weeks getting ready for a show, I try and keep that the same. I don't want to throw my body off. I don't try and trick it or fool it in those final days into thinking it's doing something it's not. So I stay fairly consistent. That's probably the biggest key in my own prep, especially in those final days. And then the last one was one food that I can't live without. I don't know. I mean, I go through a lot of foods that I don't eat during prep time. And then typically after a contest, immediately I want chocolate in some form, whether it's ice cream, chocolate bars, something, chocolate and pizza. So that seems to be 2 foods that at some point I definitely want in right away. So I guess if there was any food I was going to live without, couldn't live without, it would be chocolate. So, and pizza. So, all right, well, there you go. I hope you enjoy this one. Send me more questions. I would love to make another video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.